What is your reaction to this story as it stands tonight? We are now about 18 days into the public discussion of it without Donald Trump ever telling us what he knew or what he was told about this.
I wouldn't necessarily expect the president to be forthcoming. It's not really been something he's demonstrated, particularly in terms of intelligence. I was pleased to see General Nicholson, who formerly commanded U.S. troops in Afghanistan in 2017 and 2018, likewise post an op-ed tonight in which he likewise acknowledged that prior to his departure in 2018, he did see intelligence concerning Russian provision of small arms, ammunition, and finance to the Taliban and to use in its operations. So I believe the president will probably continue to try to redirect the message and try to realign it with his issues, or to more fundamentally been speaking to such things as leakage and such like that. And we'll probably wait for the next change in the news cycle to hope it goes away.
You served in the CIA into the year 2018. That would be during the Trump presidency. At your end of operations, did you feel any difference with that under the Trump administration than the previous administrations you served in?
There was a difference in the dynamics between the president and the intelligence community. I believe most presidents, even when they may not necessarily have the best opinion of the CIA in particular, or the intelligence community writ large, are more open to at least hearing out what the input is and what the perspectives are, and tend to surround themselves with those that have some expertise in national security and intelligence affairs, usually folks such as their national security advisor or secretary of state, and folks within the National Security Council. This president just had a different dynamic when it came to intelligence. He was hard to brief. He was hard to get to him to pay attention to any particular topic. And really, those topics which didn't align with his preconceived views or his agenda, he tended to be rather dismissive and would likewise sort of redirect the conversation with the community or deflect the matter entirely.
Do you believe, as of tonight, that President Trump did know what the intelligence reports were about Russian activity in Afghanistan, including possibly paying to kill American soldiers?
It's without doubt that the president was kept informed. He was regularly briefed on these issues. And if you recall, the president had to make a consequential decision in February to allow Secretary of State Pompeo to sign the 29 February agreement with the Taliban concerning withdrawal. Now, according to the press, the president's daily brief that contained information which specifically spoke to Russian incentives and financing to the Taliban for the purpose of operations against U.S. forces was in that brief on the 27th of February. So it's been integrated into his information on Afghanistan and our path forward, regardless of whether it was dealing specific with the issue of withdrawal or those compelling factors that required a U.S. presence, such as counterterrorism, which tends to be at the center. But the president being aware of intelligence doesn't necessarily mean he embraces it for the purposes of decision-making. And really, intelligence is about informed decision-making. He's the boss. What he does, the intelligence community, the military, diplomatic service, we're going to comply with. But at the time of the agreement with the Taliban, you'll recall, we had just recently had another American kidnapped by the Taliban, Mark Frericks, who was a civilian contractor, just weeks before it was signed. He had intelligence that was, again, recapitulated by the Pentagon in a report of July 1st and in the United Nations for the Security Council in May, to which we were a party, that spoke to cooperation between the Taliban and Qaeda remaining quite resonant and remaining quite an issue and an area of concern. And his own commander, Central Command, General McKenzie, spoke just recently in June that the Taliban still hadn't met the conditions for withdrawal as it related to cooperation with al-Qaeda. So the president gets the intelligence. He's aware of the information. That he really takes it on board has really been the problem for us in the community.